Living in anger, hate, or being actively angry at the wrong you feel was done to you, wrath, is the number one destroyer of relationships via sinful communication. Anger destroys external relationships with others, along with the relationship with your internal self, if you live in anger. Living in anger, or actively dwelling on the wrong that you feel was done to you, also is a deceiver. Living in anger will deceive your mind into thinking and your heart into feeling that acting in anger is the best option for you to solve the wrong that you perceive was done to you. Ephesians 4:26 states, "In your anger, do not sin." Now, does this mean it is bad to realize anger? Absolutely not. But I will say that as you begin to grow stronger in loving yourself or being internally selfish, you will become slower to anger. Realizing anger and living in anger are two very different things. Realizing anger can be classified as a Class B act, which is defined as feeling internal pain. Living in anger is classified as a Class A sin because living in anger is a huge internal problem. The number 3 worst sin, in my opinion, because living in anger will weaken the relationship you have with yourself, along with weakening the relationships you have with others. Anger. Internal radar alert. Anger is the second problem indicator tool on your internal radar system. You have the capability to transform being angry about something into a valuable problem indicator tool for 2.0U. To transform anger and add anger to your internal radar system, you must attain the ability to understand and perceive anger in the correct context. A beneficial way to understand and perceive anger as a Class B act is like how you would perceive complaining as a Class B act, but with a few key differences. Most importantly, you must be internally selfish enough to care about yourself enough to dwell in peace and feeling good. So, it is a rare occasion when you find yourself feeling angry about something. If you are predominantly in a good or peaceful mood and you find yourself feeling angry, then you will feel discomfort from the anger. This discomfort will enable you to be conscious and aware of the anger you are feeling. This will allow you to pinpoint what made you angry accurately. Being aware that you are angry is the only way to enable yourself to use anger as a tool on your internal radar system. If you are angry all the time and you find yourself feeling angry, then you will not be sensitive enough to the anger, which will not enable you to accurately pinpoint what really made you angry because you are used to living in anger and feeling angry all the time. Furthermore, if you are angry all the time, then you are more than likely actively contributing to the problem that you think is making you angry. Hence, you should strive to avoid anger by being internally selfish enough to live in and feel internal peace most of the time. Living in internal peace will enable you to be slow to anger and become consciously sensitive of anger. This will enable you to accomplish the following things. Number 1, avoid getting angry over insignificant, petty things that are not real, serious problems. Number 2, enable you to understand feeling angry as a real problem. Number 3, feeling angry will make you feel uncomfortable or consciously sensitive to anger immediately when you feel it because you are used to feeling internal peace. Number 4, being consciously sensitive to anger will enable you to actively diagnose the real problem so that you may actively focus and dwell upon solutions to the real problem. On the other hand, someone who is angry all the time or lives in anger normally will have misplaced anger. This person will not have the capability to diagnose the real problem to his or her anger, which will not enable him or her to diagnose the real solution to the real problem. Number 5, you will actively understand feeling anger as feeling internal pain. Again, internal pain is simply a problem indicator of an internal problem. Thus, you will understand feeling anger simply as you communicating to yourself an internal problem you have, which needs your attention so that you may find a solution to the problem. Number 6, after realizing anger is simply pain, it is your job to get peaceful so that you may think clearly and actively focus upon potential solutions to your problem because you are internally selfish and want your peace back. This is a prime example of how being internally selfish will enable you to transform anger into a useful problem indicator tool on your internal radar system.